Are you considering using Business Central's Service Management module? If your business repairs, maintains, or supports customer equipment, service management is worth exploring. In this video, I'll give you a quick walkthrough of how easy it is to get service management up and running, introduce the main concepts, and highlight the key settings you'll need to know. Let's dive in. Now, before we can use service management, it's important to know that this module is only available with the premium license of Business Central. If you already have premium, enabling it is really straightforward. Head over to the company information page. On the user experience fast tab, there's a field called experience. By default, most companies are set to essential. Simply switch that to premium, and just like that, the service management features become available. Moving on, let's make this a bit more real with an example company. Tyrell Coffee Machines. They sell high-end coffee and espresso machines to restaurants, and just as importantly, they also service these machines if something breaks down. The first concept we need to look at in service management is the idea of service items. Service items represent the specific machines or equipment that are out at a customer site. Now, you could create service items manually for equipment you only service and don't sell, but in most cases, you'll want them to be generated automatically when you sell a product. That's where service item groups come in. By assigning an item to a service item group and enabling the Create Service Item flag, Business Central will automatically create a service item whenever that product is sold. Let's see this in action. We'll sell two of Tyrell's espresso machines to two different customers. Behind the scenes, Business Central generates two separate service items, each linked to the customer who purchased it. When we open up those service items, notice the warranty dates and the discount percentages for labor and parts. These values flow in from the service management setup, but you can always adjust them at the individual service item level if needed. This makes it really easy to manage not just the sales side, but also the ongoing service relationship with each customer. Let's keep following our Tyrell Coffee example. The first customer bought their espresso machine with a warranty, and a couple of months later, their machine breaks down. That means it's time to provide service. Before we create the service order, let's pause and look at two important concepts in service management: resources and costs. Resources usually represent the people who do the work, like technicians, or machines if you're tracking the use of equipment like diagnostic tools. In our case, we'll set up a technician resource. On the resource card, notice a few key fields, like the unit of measure. For a technician, this is typically hours, so you can track time and apply rates consistently. We also define the cost and price of the resource. Cost represents the internal expense of using the resource, while price is what we bill to the customer. That way, Business Central can calculate margins automatically. Then there's the general product posting group, which links the resource activity to the correct accounts in the general ledger. Finally, there's the service group field. This lets us categorize technicians by skill or role, and later, when we set up service contracts, it helps determine which discounts apply to which resource groups. The second concept is costs. These represent standard charges you might want to add to a service order, things like travel, special handling, or surcharges. For Tyrell, we'll create a simple cost called Rush. This is used whenever a customer requests after-hour service, so we can add the extra charge directly to the service order. With those two pieces in place, our technician resource and our trip or rush cost, we are ready to create our first service order for that broken machine. All right, so let's see what happens when one of our Tyrell coffee customers needs service. This customer bought their espresso machine with a warranty, and a couple of months later, it breaks down. So we are going to create a new service order to handle the repair. From the service orders page, I'll create a new order and select the customer. Then I'll choose the espresso machine they purchased. Notice, it's already listed as a service item. Now let's add the details of the work. First, I'll add a replacement part. Next, I'll add our technician as a resource line. Again, the warranty applies. So the labor shows the discount percentage for the covered work. Simple and automatic. Finally, let's add a trip charge using the cost code TRIP. This time, no warranty discount shows up because warranties in Business Central only cover labor and parts by default. Costs remain billable unless you choose to override them. With all three lines in place, the part, the technician, and the trip, let's take a look at the totals. If I open the statistics or print a preview of the order, you can clearly see how warranty discounts reduce the charges for parts and labor while the trip fee remains. Everything looks good. So let's post the order. I'll choose Ship an Invoice, which both records the service and generates the service invoice in one step. And here's the final invoice. By default, it only shows the amounts the customer is billed for. You won't see the original price and the discount side by side on this layout. But the good news is, it's very easy to customize the invoice in Business Central to show both if that's important for your business. That completes the full cycle. From a service item under warranty to adding lines to invoicing, all managed in Business Central. Now let's look at our second customer, the one who purchased their espresso machine without a warranty. For customers like this, we can create a service contract, so they still have coverage but on a paid basis. From the service contracts page, I'll create a new contract and assign it to this customer. Next, I'll define the service period on the contract header. This sets the time frame during which the contract, along with its associated discounts, will be valid. One field to pay close attention to is the service contract account group code. This determines how the contract's revenue is posted into the general ledger. After that, I'll add the service items covered by the contract. For each line, I'll include details such as the line cost used for analysis, the line amount used for billing and posting to the GL, as well as the service start date, contract start date, and expiration date. Then we can define the coverage terms. On the contract header, I'll add discounts for labor and parts. These values flow down into any service orders linked to the contract, ensuring the right pricing rules are applied automatically. Finally, I'll mark the contract as signed. From here, Business Central can generate recurring invoices on the schedule we set, monthly, quarterly, or annually. And any service orders for this machine will automatically recognize the contract and apply the agreed discounts. So while warranties give automatic short-term coverage from the sale, service contracts let us create flexible, billable service agreements with the service contract account group code making sure the accounting works the way it should. Now let's create a service order for the service item that's covered by the contract we just set up. The process looks very similar. We select the customer, choose their service item, and add lines for the replacement part, the technician, and the travel cost. Here's the difference. Instead of warranty discounts, the order now picks up the contract terms. The labor and parts discounts we defined on the service contract flow automatically into these lines. And unlike warranties, contracts can also include costs. So depending on how you set it up, even a travel charge could be discounted. When we look at the totals, you can see the contract's discounts applied. Once again, we can post the order, ship, and invoice in one step, and Business Central generates the invoice with the agreed contract pricing. So, compared to the warranty case, the mechanics are the same, but the source of the discounts is the service contract, giving us more flexibility in what's covered and how it's billed. Now that our service contract is in place, let's walk through how invoicing of the contract works. From the contract page, I'll open the contract we just created. Notice on the header, we have already defined the invoicing period. In this case, monthly. That means Business Central will generate one invoice per month for the duration of the contract. To create the first invoice, I'll click Create Contract Invoices directly from this contract. In this case, it only invoices this specific contract rather than checking all active ones. Once the invoice is generated, the next invoice date on the contract is automatically updated. That means when the next billing period comes around, I can come back and create the following month's invoice with just a click. And if you'd like to process multiple contracts at once, Business Central also provides batch tools that let you invoice all active contracts together. Once everything looks good, we'll post the invoice. This updates the general ledger using the account defined in the service contract account group code, so the revenue is recognized correctly. And that is a complete look at how easy it is to get started with service management in Business Central. From service items, warranties, and service orders, all the way through service contracts and invoicing. But this module can do so much more. You can manage resource skills to assign the right technician to the right job. Use service zones to organize coverage areas. And log issues with fault reporting and troubleshooting codes so you can analyze common problems. There are tools for dispatching work efficiently and even handling loaner equipment when a customer's machine is out of service. All of these features build on the same foundation we've just seen, giving you more ways to support customers, streamline operations, and generate service revenue. So if your business sells products and supports them after the sale, the service management module is worth exploring. It's built right into Business Central, and it can help you manage the full life cycle of your customer relationships.